I am so delighted to see all of you here, whether you are in the room with us tonight or joining us virtually, as we launch the Coalition for New Trade. I am deeply honored that so many of our friends have come out to support this effort. Let me begin by acknowledging those that spoke earlier. President Schuler, you are a fearless leader in a time of great fear. You have the backs of the workers, the 15 million workers who are holding up our economy, and you have always had my back in the struggles to bend the direction of our trade policies towards justice. Manny, you welcomed me to your workshop floor, where your focus is not to churn out widgets or housing frames, but to invest in the people from your community and to understand them as whole people with challenges and histories who nevertheless deserve an organization and an economy that will be their champion. Mark, you are a lifelong friend of my family's, and the depth of your generosity is matched only by the breadth of your open-mindedness. We've talked trade and economics and politics for so many years, and you have consistently offered me the sincere debate and fair hearing that, frankly, some of my most esteemed former colleagues have not. I also want to recognize all of our workers, staff, artists, experts, and administrators who helped to make this launch and this launch event happen. Thank you all for showing up for me and for the Coalition for New Trade. So, what is it that we're launching today? This is an initiative, and really, it's a movement that we are aspiring to build. It begins with trade policy, but it doesn't end there. It is about economics and livelihoods and people and America and America's place in the world. Trade is our entry point because it's what people like me and Beth and many of you know best. Also, in case you haven't noticed, it is playing a leading role in the change and disruption happening at home and around the world these days. Trade policy is also something that affects all of us in really important ways, and something that we should all have opinions about and feel ownership over. And I should add that trade policy, while it encompasses tariffs, is also about so much more than tariffs. Like many aspects of real life, when trade manifests as a policy area, the discussion around it becomes saddled with acronyms and abstruse terminology. And participation in its development and implementation becomes restricted to small circles of experts, politicians, and the most well-resourced businesses. I know this is true because I have been, and I still am, one of those experts. This is how, over time, trade policy has been captured by a small group of people and interests who have made all of the important decisions about how your economy works and who benefits from trade policy. So one of our first orders of business is to demystify trade policy. Do you have a job? Do you earn a wage? Are you on salary or contract? Do you own and run your own business? Are you a farmer? Are you a rancher? Are you retired? Do you pay bills? Do you go shopping? Buy groceries and gasoline and back-to-school supplies? Do you pay utility bills? Do you have a cell phone? Watch TV? Stream movies? Play video games? Do you live in a community that is growing or one that is shrinking? You don't have to have a PhD in economics or a law degree or be a member of the C-suite of a Fortune 500 company. If you are part of our economy, then you have a trade policy stake, and there is a role for you in it. Now, why are we talking about new trade? What is that supposed to mean? Well, it means that we are done with the old trade policy. More specifically, we are done with the trade policy that we and most of the rest of the world have been pursuing for at least the last 45 years. There are a lot of reasons for this. This trade policy of this last era has been a key component of a trickle-down economic philosophy that has unleashed a lot of wealth on the world. Wealth that really hasn't trickled down, wealth that is becoming more and more concentrated in the hands of a very small number of people. So we are done with old trade policy because its time has come, and some of us are ready, and some of us have been ready for a long time for something new. But there are also those of us who maybe weren't sure that they were ready for something new, or who were doing well enough under the old system not to complain. For those people, it is also pretty clear by now that, ready or not, change is happening and there is no going back. And that's true for trade policy, just as it's true for technology and artificial intelligence, the climate, demographics, and geopolitics. Just ask the Prime Minister of Canada. As Beth noted earlier, he made news in Switzerland last month by being honest about exactly this point. I know that change is uncomfortable. Sometimes it can happen gradually, but these days, so much of the change around us is happening so fast. It is natural for change to bring with it fear and also grief. But change, we know, is inevitable. And if we embrace change and embrace this opportunity to create a new and better economy, to learn the lessons from the past, we will find that we have more to gain than lose. Embracing change and harnessing it to create something new and better, it requires optimism and also courage. And so this brings me to the part about why our goal is to build a coalition. Old trade worked by dividing us. It made some rich by keeping others desperate. It pitted farmers against manufacturers, rural communities against urban, the middle class and working people in one country against those in other countries. It created an addiction to cheap consumption by writing off real but inconvenient costs. It created incentives to exploit and extract from the places that needed investment the most, whether in America or in other countries around the world. And look at what's happened. The chickens have come home to roost. Old trade was created by the few, for the few, and imposed on everyone else. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a classically trained trade lawyer and policy expert. I speak the acronyms and codes. We've got NAFTA, WTO, PNTR, GSP, ISDS, 301, 232, 201, and now 122, Chapter 19 and Chapter 87. Beth and I know our way around a spreadsheet, and we write a terrific white paper. We present at policy conferences, we appear on panels, we give keynote speeches. But that's not enough. The think tank, academic, inside the Beltway activities, whether they are collaborative or combative, usually they are both, are only one part of a much larger whole. And for a long time now, as part of the old system, we in that little circle have lost touch with the rest of the whole. In fact, America is an incredible, large, and diverse country. I saw this and I learned this with my own eyes during my time as U.S. Trade Representative when my team and I traveled to all 50 states. The people in our country are smart, and they are generally willing to be reasonable. And the conversations that they have at their kitchen tables are what matter the most in trade and in economics. We shouldn't be pursuing trade policies to goose numbers on a spreadsheet. Our trade and economic policies should be about people and how to goose their hopes and alleviate their anxieties. The coalition that we want to build is one that brings people and conversations together rather than keeping or splitting them apart. Our goal is to bridge that gap between the policy roundtable and the everyday kitchen table. Our goal is to create a new trade policy with all of you. In my experiences meeting and talking to people from the different parts of our economy and country, I also saw how often we coexist as part of the same whole without ever connecting with each other, speaking to each other, hearing, or even seeing each other. On trade policy in particular, this is what I saw. There are parts of America that have lost so much materially and in their spirit because of the combination of trickle-down trade policies with a generalized neglect from all of our policies. They feel disrespected and angry. There are other parts of America that are so buoyed by what they've gained through the pursuit of our old policies that they actually cannot imagine that there are any other parts of America. They are comfortable. These divides have created enormous and unbearable pressures on our economy, on our social and cultural fabric, and on our democracy itself. The way we begin to solve these painful breakages is to build a coalition that reaches across divides, breaks down silos, and brings us all around the same table. There is a new trade policy that we can create. It must be connected to other policy areas so that trade policy is never created and never operates in a silo again. Our new trade policy must be responsive to the interests of the people that comprise our economy. New trade and economic policies need to be clear, reliable, and serve all of us better. They need to raise standards instead of eroding them, foster communities instead of starving them. They need to value people and the planet we share rather than exploiting them, to empower and provide instead of demeaning and extracting. I am confident with all of you here to support this effort and to answer our call that we have the means to create new trade policy and a new economy. The solution isn't up to any one of us. It's going to require honesty, creativity, and courage from all of us. So we will be showing up, reaching out, knocking on your door, coming to your hometown. If you invite us, we will come. And give us a follow on Instagram at Coalition for New Trade in the meantime. I'm going to be honest with all of you. This is going to be a lot of work. But this evening, as I look around at all of you, those in the room and those watching virtually, I already see the Coalition for New Trade coming together. And I could not be more excited or grateful. Thank you so much.